Hey there, and welcome to the Easy Peasy Methodcast. If you're tired of the willpower battle and ready to break free from porn without struggle, you're in the right place. This isn't just about quitting, it's about seeing things differently, reclaiming your joy, and living life on your terms. Let's get started. Today, we're talking about something that keeps millions of people stuck in a cycle they can't seem to escape: the tug of war with porn. You know the feeling. You tell yourself you're done, that this is the last time, that you're finally going to quit. And then a day passes, maybe a week if you're lucky, and suddenly you're right back where you started. You don't even know how it happened. One moment, you're determined to break free, and the next, you're pulled back in. It's a constant battle. The harder you pull, the harder it pulls back. It's exhausting. And the worst part? The idea that this struggle is normal, that you just have to keep fighting, that one day, if you're strong enough, you'll finally win. But what if the fight itself is the problem? What if the only reason quitting feels so hard is because you're holding onto the rope? This is what Easy Peasy reveals. It shows that this struggle with porn is an illusion, and the only way to escape is to stop playing the game altogether. You don't need to fight harder. You just need to drop the rope. Let's break this down. Why does quitting feel like a battle? Because we've been conditioned to think of it as a test of willpower. We see it as a personal challenge, something that we have to fight through, one craving at a time. And what happens when we try to resist an urge? It gets stronger. Think about it. If you tell yourself not to think about a pink elephant, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? A pink elephant. That's exactly how addiction works. The more you try to fight it, the more power you give it. Imagine you're in a tug of war with a giant monster. It's pulling you toward a pit, and you're pulling with all your strength to keep from falling in. It feels like a never-ending battle. And then one day, someone tells you a secret. You don't have to fight. The monster only has power if you hold the rope. What happens if you just let go? The battle ends instantly. That's what quitting porn really looks like. It's not about fighting the urge. It's about seeing that the urge isn't real. Think about it. What do you actually get from watching porn? A few minutes of escape, a short dopamine spike, and then what? Guilt, frustration, wasted time, maybe even that empty, sinking feeling like you just let yourself down again. If porn actually gave you something real, you wouldn't feel worse afterward. But you do. Every time. That's because porn isn't giving you pleasure. It's just giving you temporary relief from the craving it created in the first place. And that's why the tug of war never ends. Every time you give in, you reinforce the idea that porn is something you need, that it solves a problem, that it gives you relief, and then, the next time the urge comes, it feels even stronger, because your brain remembers, last time I watched porn and felt relief. So the cycle continues. But here's the truth. You don't actually need relief. The craving itself is fake. The feeling that you need to watch is just a conditioned response, like a smoker who thinks they need a cigarette to relax, when in reality, the only reason they feel stress is because of the withdrawal from the last cigarette. That's the trick addiction plays on you. It creates the craving, then convinces you that the only way to get rid of the craving is to feed it again. It's like setting your own house on fire, just so you can feel the relief of putting it out. And this is why Easy Peasy is different from other quitting methods. Most approaches tell you to fight, to use willpower, to distract yourself. But all of that just keeps you in the game. It keeps you holding the rope. So how do you actually let go? You start by asking yourself a simple question. What am I really getting out of this? Not what do I think I'm getting, not what society tells me I'm getting, but what am I actually getting? Be brutally honest. Does porn make you feel happier? Or does it just make you numb? Does it help your relationships? Or does it make real intimacy feel less exciting? Does it give you energy and motivation? Or does it leave you drained? And if the answer is that porn gives you nothing, then why keep fighting the urge to watch it? Why pull on the rope at all? This is the mental shift that changes everything. The moment you realize you don't actually want porn, the struggle disappears. You don't have to resist cravings because there are no cravings. You don't have to fight urges because urges only exist when you believe that acting on them gives you something. Think about when you were a kid and you stopped believing in Santa Claus. The moment you knew he wasn't real, you didn't have to resist writing a letter to the North Pole. You didn't have to fight the urge to put out milk and cookies. It just stopped making sense. Quitting porn works the same way. The second you realize that porn never gave you anything, that it was just a trick, the whole illusion collapses. The tug of war is over. You're free. And here's what happens next. After you let go of the rope, life starts to feel real again. Dopamine levels return to normal. Small things bring joy again. You feel more confident, more present, more in control. And you realize something shocking. Quitting wasn't hard at all. The only thing that was hard was believing the lie that quitting was hard. So if you're still in the struggle, still pulling on that rope, ask yourself, what are you fighting for? What are you afraid of losing? Because once you see that the battle itself is pointless, you won't have to quit. You'll just stop wanting it. That's it for today's episode of the Methodcast. If this message spoke to you, don't just think about it, act on it. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, send it their way. Because sometimes the only thing standing between someone and freedom is a shift in perspective. Spread the word, my friends. Share this podcast on forums, give the Easy Peasy Method a shout out on your socials, and tell your buddies about it. Together, we can help anyone still stuck in the porn trap break free and start living their best lives.